In the constant and non-stopping flow of content the internet provides, a person is bound to find something that they relate and describes how they feel emotionally. Something that they look and say, it describes them fully. A piece of media that takes the words and emotions they keep inside and expresses them. In addition, aesthetic and mood, whether sonical or visual, can serve this purpose. I see people all around me have this experience, this feeling that something that exists speaks to them and their emotions, but I never really had this thought that something spoke to who I am as a person until a few years ago. This video is about a video game, but I first need to talk about the first piece of media that spoke to me, and that was...
Hey y'all, Scott here.
Scott the Woz and his videos about game packaging, the death of bots art and game collecting spoke to me so much that thoughts I had in my head Scott laid in his video almost word for word. It was so scary. The need for keeping my games in a certain order and the satisfaction from collecting bots is transformed from thoughts in my head to tangible videos on the internet. This was my first experience with this feeling. Won't be the last, because the next piece of media that would speak to my thoughts wouldn't be about my obsessions with plastic video game boxes. It would speak to... One day while browsing Steam, I stumbled upon a game called Milk Inside the Bag of Milk Inside the Bag of Milk. The art style seemed cool and artsy, and it was lower than €1, which was around the funds I had in my Steam wallet, so I bought it and played it. The game is really short and I have only played it for 21 minutes, but I have thought about it for hours and hours. The game showed me a part of myself I wanted to keep hidden. The game is a visual novel with branching paths. The game revolves around the girl trying to buy a bottle of milk from the supermarket. The player takes the form of a voice inside the girl's head, giving her encouragement and advice, or scorn and anger. Depending on what you say to her, the girl determines if you are useful and worth keeping around, or she discards you. The world the girl sees is a distorted pink and black version of the world. Instead of humans, she sees disformed monsters that aren't able to talk back. The whole game is metaphorical, trying to say its message through those metaphors. At the surface, the message of the game is unclear and open to interpretation, but if you dig deeper, you will find it. The thing I want to focus on, though, doesn't have to do with the true message of the game, but my interpretation of its metaphors. To me, the game is about social anxiety. The simple task of going to the store to buy milk becomes this huge thing because the girl doesn't have the confidence to go and perform that social act. She sees everybody around her as monsters, as something otherworldly and scary, because other people don't act like her, so their actions seem scary and foreign. But also the social anxiety working to frighten her from doing anything that has to do with interacting with another human being. This game perfectly described my personal social anxiety. A task as simple as getting milk to me seemed impossible because of the fear that I would have to interact with another person. Having this voice in my head yelling at me that I am not doing the social act correctly, and everybody sees me like a fool. Those thoughts led me to be close towards other people and not having any confidence, which fed to a never-ending cycle of closing myself, trying to act more social, and either failing in a way that I was ridiculed and dragged back to my dark place, or succeeding but telling myself that I wasn't, focusing on every detail of every interaction, playing in my head scenarios on how could the interaction could have gone down and what the other person truly felt behind the facade of the social mask. So, as a countermeasure, I started preparing for every interaction, as to not have these anxieties in my head, but that didn't work because the reality never plays out like you imagine, leading to more social failings and more depression. I have been able to improve on myself and my problem. I have been able to go to the store and get milk for a long time now. I believe that this is a part of who I am and that I will not be able to avoid it completely. But thanks to this game, I was able to recognize this quirk of mine and take strides on improving as a person. As a closing statement, I want to say that I wish for more people to find the one thing that speaks to them. I have found mine.